Michelle Bouffard, to find you in Montreal this afternoon.
Bonjour.
Bonjour.
Nice to see you.
Very nice to see you. I received some news from you and your PR group for tasting climate change, which is why we're talking this afternoon. I want to know more about it, but it says that Jancis Robinson, or the Jancis Robinson media empire,
Yes.
has become a sponsor of tasting climate change, and this is
Yeah.
a new thing.
It's quite amazing. They actually reached out to me and said we would love to partner with you and be a media sponsor. So it's amazing because as you know, she's the voice in the world with everyone that collaborates on this platform. So now it means that we open up this discussion with more and more people, which is the goal at the end is to share is to share solutions to adapt and
To
mitigate
adapt.
climate change and to talk about how each of us can do something about it.
What you're coming up to the fifth edition in
Yes,
January, and we'll talk
yes.
about that because it's looks pretty amazing. I want to see Alessio Planeta and Sandro Bottega on the same panel. I think that would be very funny. You have some pretty amazing guests coming. Uh, how did you start it? I mean, what did you just have an idea one day walking down the street, or how did it come to be?
In 2005, I watched a movie by Al Gore called The Inconvenient Truth. And at the very same time, I was finishing my WSET diploma. And back in the day, the diploma, you had to choose a topic that you wanted at the end to write about. And I chose climate change because I had just watched the movie and thought that's going to be the biggest challenge that we will all be facing. And at the time, I remember it was very difficult to find information. If you talk to viticulturists, if you talk to farmers, essentially, they knew something was up because they could see the change on the land and how the land was reacting and the ecosystem was reacting. But there were not many scientists writing about it in about wine, the impact of it would have on the wine industry. And I remember reaching out to Dr. Gregory Jones, who was one of the first to really write about it. And I just thought at the time, like, I'm too young in the industry. I'm kind of starting out. I don't have the contact to do something. But one day when I grow old, when I get older, I will hopefully have the connection to do something about this. So I started to work on the first edition in 2016, so it'll be now 10 years. And it's my way of trying to do something about something that's bigger than the wine industry, obviously. And my goal is to use the connection I have to bring everyone together to discuss and put in the same room everyone involved in the wine industry because I found when I was doing conferences, when I was going to conferences, you often have the same people who attend, the same group of producers, the same group of journalists. But what about getting everyone in the room from the bottler to the person who makes the label, then the sommelier, then the producer, then the buyer, so that we actually sit down together and understand the reality of each other. Because it's easy to sit down and say, you should do that, but then what is their reality and how can we work together towards a common goal? So that was the genesis behind that.
And how was the reception? Did people understand it right away, or did it take some time to?
No, honestly, the first edition was in 17, and I had a lot of people telling me I was crazy to do this. That and the first conference, just to keep in mind, the first conference was only half a day. Now it's three full days. But even at the time when I was telling people I was going to do half a day conference, they were saying, well, you're asking too much out of people. Half a day is too much. and also to find sponsorship because I don't have any funding from government. I had to find funding, and it came from the wine industry, but there were a lot of wine regions and producers and possible sponsors who had the money to contribute, but did not want to be associated with climate change because they saw this as a negative image. Um, which is crazy to think about now because everyone is talking about it and everyone knows that it's touching every wine region. So we've gone a long way. We have a long way to go, but we've come a long way. So yeah, the first edition though was sold out to my surprise because I was wondering, will people come to this? And also, will they pay? Because in the wine industry, we're used to have everything for free.
That's right.
Um, and I charge because I have to pay for a room, I have to pay for speakers to come. So the money has to come from somewhere. So to my great and happy surprise, the first edition was a success, sold out, and it we had to break for lunch because it was only half a day, but people didn't want to leave. They kept on asking questions. And I thought, okay, maybe next time I can do a full day. So the next edition became a full day. And now we've gone to 3 full days. Last conference in 2024, if I count people who watched online and came to the conference, I had 500 people from 20 countries.
That's great.
Yeah,
Amazing.
yeah. So it's been a long journey, but a rewarding journey.
And who's coming in January?
Lots of fantastic people. They're all great. But I think there's few people I'm really proud to have on board just because they don't travel much and they don't accept to do that very much outside of their country or their continent. So Rosa Kruger, which I love, in my career, she's probably one of the person that inspired me the most. For all the work she's done in South Africa with the Old Vine Project, but also about the social aspect of sustainability. She has a school and she teaches um, essentially people with no mean, people who live in the township. She teaches them about viticulture so that they can be independent and they can be part of the future. So I'm really happy that she's accepted. Everyone was telling me she will not travel and she will not
Mhm.
come, but she did accept. So I'm pretty excited. And the other person, he was there in 2024, and I usually don't have same speaker to come twice in a row, but Marc-André Solos, who's you know, a microbiologist, is one of the greatest specialists, sorry, of understanding soil health. He's written multiple books about it. Because of climate change, he doesn't travel much. He works mostly in Europe. But he came in 2024 and he was a highlight of the conference. And at the end, he said to me, listen, if you want me to come back to do a part two, I will come. So I took
Wow.
him on that. The problem with climate change, I think people feel overwhelmed. And when it's so big, where do you start? And I just hope that when people come to it, if we all can decide at the end of the conference, okay, I will change this in my life or within my company, I will introduce this. I know some import company, for example, who've come to this and they are now certified B Corp. And the conference was the inspiration for it. So that's my goal is that people get energized and not depressed.
I was going to say, I mean, if you come to Chasing Climate Change, it's not a depressing three
No,
days. No, like people
no,
are
and
excited and yeah.
it's amazing. And it's we're lucky. The wine industry is such a, a world community and to be all of us, for 3 days, we're all a bit on a high to have a chance to be together and share that moment. And when we break out and we do walk around tasting and at the coffee machine, you can chat with someone. So it's amazing to be together for 3 days.
You're bringing the world together. It's
Yes, that's what I'm
good
trying to do.
to save it. Okay. Merci, Michelle. That was great.
Merci.
We never made any money when we were